Good afternoon.
Great to be here. Thank you all. I could talk about me for an hour. Actually, this question does have relevance, and I thought when I was speaking to Rob, when's the time to have an existential crisis? It's with your colleagues and your clients on stage in the afternoon on Thursday. No, who am I? Well, it depends on who you ask. According to me, these things would stand out and they'd be unequivocally true. Italian, English, Irish, unassuming, and all these lovely positive adjectives. According to my wife, it might be a slightly different picture. Looks something like this. According to my mother, the right picture. And the reason I bring that up is because social, if you think about the edge, which I've been encouraged to think about in the last month preparing for this event, is a powerful space to ask very big questions. And a question I was asked once by a client about a year ago now, which put me out at the time. It was in the middle of the presentation, and they turned the camera on and they said, "Who are we?" And I thought, this is far too large and an irregular question for me to answer. I had loads of data packs prepared. And actually, the question is really that if you think of all of our companies and you think of the meetings you're in, I think you could probably find out who your company thinks it is. You'd have documentation, you'd have a clear eye view, you'd have a brand strategy. And the question behind the question I was asked, which is, who should we be? And if I just build on a second, there are two questions you can narrow that down, and these are the more comfortable questions which you can actually answer in a 90-minute presentation with information, which is, what's the market position and how do we improve that position? Now, we are used to answering those questions. Performance questions, you can get definite answers. That's pure play empiricism. We have a very good track record of it at Brainlabs, and if any clients think otherwise, I'm sure they would shout out now. No. But we have a different opportunity in front of us, which you're kind of, I imagine, familiar with, which is a set of questions in yellow. Now, these questions are really about customers and feelings and how we link that to performance. And historically, that's been quite difficult to do because it's quite indirect. You have devices and means to do that through market research. But actually, we have an opportunity. We have an edge in social, through social listening, through influencers, to tap into what our clients are saying about us, but also to link it to the bottom, top, and line, and how that's driving conversions. Now, if you take that together with this fact, which, again, I think we could all broadly agree is true, and nothing is new there, which is McKinsey found that word of mouth is the primary factor behind 20 to 50% of all purchasing decisions. And you take that together with the right, which I won't repeat, all of these facts, it's true that not only do we have the means to listen to our customers and find out what they're saying about us, you now have an opportunity to influence that, direct it, feed that back into your business, but it also has a consequential revenue and profit outcome. So I think that's kind of on us, and you'll hear a bit more about that today and how we can capitalize on the opportunity. So these are the reasons, or the reason I'm excited. What you say about yourself is less important than what your customers say about you, and that changes over time for anyone who's self-regarding. So I'll hand over to Rob, who has assured me he's got some only positive words to say about Brainlabs and your own notes of optimism for the day.
No, thank you, Dan. And look, I love that provocation, the introspection around who you are and what do you stand for, because this is a question we often ask ourselves at Meta. In terms of personal development, but also ones that we try and take into our conversations with clients and partners as well. But we ask, what are you known for? So basically, what do people say about you when you're not in the room? And this is often something I get posed when Brainlabs aren't in the room as well. So people are fascinated by the business, they want to know more, and they try and elicit an opinion out of me, rightly so, around what do they stand for. And how I talk about it in terms of this business and this partnership is around behaviors, because I think that's what sets Brainlabs out from the rest of the market. What makes it quite distinct is kind of three core behaviors, which I'll kind of touch on today. The first is around being curious. The second is around being entrepreneurial. And the third is about being relentless. And I'll touch on what that means for me. And when we started to talk to our agencies a couple of years ago about automation and AI and the abundant kind of opportunity that may present, it's probably not a huge surprise that some agencies absolutely didn't want to hear it. They saw this as an existential threat to perhaps business and some clients too, right? AI, robots taking over, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it was genuinely fascinating to see the reaction of Brainlabs. They ran towards it, they leant into it. They really wanted to understand how they could use automation to their advantage. You know, how automation could drive innovation. It can drive impact for clients, everyone in the room. And that's really energizing for us to hear, right? You know, if a big strategic opportunity that we see, our partners see, good things can happen there. And what this resulted in, as Brainlabs tested one of our automated products, Advantage for shopping campaigns, and Costa was absolutely central to this, is developing a thought leadership piece, a white paper, around the benefit of Advantage for shopping campaigns, which shipped earlier at the start of this year. And it was the first of its kind globally for any agency to come to this opinion. So again, first mover advantage. And as our partnership developed, it deepened, became more strategic, we started to co-invest in technology. And again, Brainlabs displaying an entrepreneurial spirit, seeing an opportunity through influencer, wanting to grow the market, developed a tool, again, which you'll hear more about the second iteration of today, understanding how to maximize the opportunity on influencer and grow the market with Instagram. Because that was, again, a huge amount of headroom that they saw. So again, looking forward to hearing more about that. The third is something where I feel our businesses are perfectly aligned, and that is a commitment to scientific experimentation and incrementality testing, a relentless obsession to prove and prove again what's working and why, answering some of the questions that Dan has put up there. But again, not focusing just on taking our word for what best practice may be. We always say, don't take our word for it, you know, test. And Brainlabs enjoy that mantra, embody it, and go away and build on top of our best practices. And again, some of the intersection between our platform and other platforms like search, you're going to hear more about today. Again, a relentless pursuit for more, for better, to understand exactly what's working. And look, Brainlabs deliver high performance. I can stand on stage and confidently say that. But look, not all clients take advantage of high performance. And when I was thinking about this, you know, thinking about the behaviors of really smart, progressive, interesting, growth-focused clients, it's the same behaviors. You know, it's a curiosity. You know, how can you be obsessed about testing? If you're not testing 15 times a year on your client's business, you're not doing enough testing. So again, speak to us, speak to Brainlabs about how you can do more testing. It's entrepreneurial. The smart, progressive clients are thinking about how they go beyond borders, how they grow into other markets. Again, challenge us, challenge Brainlabs to do that if it's relevant. And again, relentless, extracting every ounce of possible data to drive the system. Our AI is only as good as the data that's available to it. So think about how you can be relentless in that regard. So if you want to grow, if you want to understand your customers and grow with both us and Brainlabs, I feel like we've got an unbelievable opportunity to find your edge, because that's where your competitive advantage will be within your category. So I'm super excited for this. I'm proud to be on stage with Brainlabs and can't wait for the rest of the content.
Thank you, Rob. I don't think I could have given ourselves better compliments than that, so pleasure.